No, I'm not avoiding the question. You keep saying that, but your questions are loaded, so they need to be dealt with at the outset, and then I will come to your point. This is you're not conducting an inquisition. You're conducting a debate, Arnav. So let me have my say as well.
Okay.
All right. Now let me say this. You're absolutely right. As much as I oppose what has happened to Mr. Rushdie,
yes,
I would say Hindu groups which call for a ban and indulge in violence against Wendy Doniger's book would be completely crossing the line and violating the law. But you have to give anybody whose sensibilities and religious sensibilities in both these cases,
see, that's the thing,
affected, they have to be given a right to protest, so long as it is within the limits of decency and non-violence.
But Mr. Jethmalani, Mr. Jethmalani, if I may ask a question.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jethmalani. As part of my continuing inquisition of Mahesh Jethmalani tonight, I would like to follow up by asking you that, Mr. Jethmalani, why are you trying to treat this as an isolated instance or some hypothetical situation? Why don't you take a position on it? The fact of the matter is this, that there was no act of violence in the Jaipur Literary Festival. There was nothing done which crossed the line. In fact, nobody even lifted their finger. And there was this kind of a reaction.
I agree with you. Arnav. I don't know why you're creating a straw man. I mean, I honestly don't know why you are creating a straw man and putting me up as somebody you can then demolish. All I'm saying is that Rushdie has a right to freedom of expression. Where it crosses literary license, people have a right to protest. Wendy Doniger...
That's what happened here. That's what happened here. Why is your party calling it match fixing? That's what happened here. No, one sec. That's what happened here. So Sohail wants to...
why the party is calling...
Why have you called it match fixing?
You want me to... I will respond to that since you asked me the question on a party basis.
Yes.
It is match fixing.
How?
Because whatever the BJP had, that entire charge sheet which you listed in the past when you first addressed a question to me on this show.
Yes.
Wasn't timed during a UP election. Yes, there were protests.
Oh.
But this whole episode right now is geared towards garnering the Muslim vote. There is a demand made.
Okay.
There is a demand made to garner the UP vote on the basis of abuse to the Muslim religion, and then the response of the Congress government is defeat and worse, and that's probably the one issue we should be discussing over here. The response of the Congress government
is to conveniently politicize it.
About its own stand.
No, you're getting responses. Shobhate hasn't spoken. So
Arnav,
I'm not saying a word today. 1 minute. I'm not saying a thing. I am not saying a thing. I am not saying a thing, but Mr. Farooqi made an observation. Sohail wants to come in. I have to go to Mr. Jha, but first Mr. Farooqi wants to make an observation.
I think we must salute Mr. Farooqi's observation because he denounced violence. Having said that, Arnav, I would love for you to continue the inquisition. The BJP was party to destroying the secular fabric when the Babri Masjid came down. They had no business to destroy an edifice of monumental religious indexing as they did. So the tragedy is that both are leading political parties. The Congress did that with the Sikhs in 1984, which sadly has been forgotten. I think our political parties have shamed themselves that they use religious divide to unite a nation and grab votes.
Shobhate is coming in right now.
Shobhate,
please. Yes, please.
No, all I wanted to say was that what we are witnessing is disingenuous, dishonest politics from both sides. It's not whether it's the BJP being dishonest, it's not the Congress party, both sides are being dishonest. True. And it's opportunistic politics at its worst and most blatant.
Yes.
And what Farooqi was saying earlier, that the entire Muslim community, he spoke on behalf of the entire Muslim community. These sort of generalizations are very dangerous. I mean, I would really like a modern Muslim mind to come on this show and talk about to keep referring to the liberals as if it's some kind of an outcast there in India who blab on without any sense of responsibility is also awful. It's an awful thing to do, to label all liberals as irresponsible. The most sensible thing I've heard this evening is Nilanjana Roy asking for a review of the ban and taking the due legal process, keeping that in mind.
Why?
Review the ban.
Review the ban on the book?
On the book. That is a very sensible and a very forward-thinking...
No, but what's the relevance of that with the existing controversy?
Well, in that case, we will be reviewing our entire attitude towards books of this kind and whether we have done the wrong thing in the first place by banning the book. So,
Mr. Jha,
all of this is a reaction to a book that was banned over 25 years ago. He has come and gone 11 times since then. Why aren't we questioning the ban itself? I mean, that's where it all starts.
No, because I think, as Mr. Jha said, you know, what Mr. Salman Rushdie did 25 years back is probably something he ought not to have done.
India
and that he
decided this. Two individuals decided it, Rajiv Gandhi and Khushwant Singh. And that's what set the whole ball rolling.
Mr. Jha,
I mean, the ban on the book itself is something that I question.
But Mr. Jha,
everything that's come has been a consequence of that ban.
Mr. Jha, I'd like you to come into what Shobha they just said, sir.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to be misrepresented in this. Let me be very clear. Salman Rushdie wrote this in 1987. You can question his taste or even his sense of responsibility towards his own community in doing that. At that point in time, I was against banning the book.
Exactly.
Don't forget, even the Nairobi, when he was writing this, even the Nairobi and Dar es Salaam bombings had not taken place. There was no Al-Qaeda, there was no 9/11, there was none of the kind of inflammation of sentiment that has taken place in the last 25 years. But if Salman were to write that book today, and or anyone were to write a similar book of abusing the mother and sister of the Prophet, and if something were taken as abusing the mother and sister of the Prophet, I would most definitely ban it today. I'm sorry I have to say that.
Yeah, but
I mean, there are limits to the freedom of freedom. Freedom is not anarchy, and remember that.
Yes, I think I think you're
absolutely right.
I think that's a great point.
No, so tonight.
Great point.
So tonight, I'd like to go back at this point to Kamal Farooqi and Dr. Tasleem Ahmad Rahmani. Dr. Rahmani, take this question tonight. That you see now it's become a question of the prestige of our democracy. That's the way this is being looked at. If tomorrow Salman Rushdie is not allowed to address the conference by video conference on a video link, won't you also be embarrassed somewhere that we allowed something like this?
He should not be, because he is the culprit who has heard the sentiments of a largest community. And today, the other question, whether he addressed the video conference or not, the other question is much more important, that he is being used to tarnish the image of a particular community of this secular democracy.
But what has he done?
And he has been used.
No, but what has he done?
For the election.
No, 1 second. Shobha Desh putting a question.
To win an election.
Please name the individuals of the party.
We don't want to be a scapegoat. And we understand very well, the community understand very well that the Congress and other political parties are playing a game, and they want to try two things with one stone. That number one, to tarnish the image of the Muslim community, and number two, to gain the power in Uttar Pradesh.
Dr. Rahmani,
we understand it fully. They must not.
Dr. Rahmani, what are you? Dr. Rahmani,
political party, that we will be trapped in this kind of web anyway.
But Dr. Rahmani, you are contradicting your own argument. Dr. Rahmani, with all respect, you are demolishing your own argument.
What contradiction?
Arnab, you are demolishing your own argument. You are demolishing your own argument, Dr. Rahmani.
Bit with Rahmani.
I said that we don't want to be trapped in the politicians.
Arnab, I would like to differ with Mr. Rahmani most respectfully. I would like to say, if at all, because Salman Rushdie has been making the video conferencing all over the world.
Yes.
If he's making it right now also, it does not, because he's writing the books, he's making books released, etc. We have no problem. But I'm only afraid he should not again use the same kind of hatred on the video, so that the problem may not arise again.
Bang on.
If he is doing it, if he's explaining his point of view, I don't mind.
All his statement right now are for that.
Please, Masad, this should not be used against the Muslims again. That we have nothing to do with this. He is organizing it, let him organize it. But at the same time, who will control him? Who will control that?
He must give an undertaking that he will not hurt the sentiments of anymore.
Suppose he starts reading the whole book again on the video.
Snap the link. Snap the link.
That is my question to you.
I want to come in here.
Arnab.
One second, I let in Prem Shankar Jha comes in. Chetan Bhagat, welcome to the debate. Prem Shankar Jha wants to make a point first. I go to Mr. Jha. Yes, Mr. Jha.
Give him the chance to explain himself on video, for God's sake. I mean, he was 25 years younger then. Don't you think on this occasion that we should give him a chance to have his say?
No, but
I agree with you, Mr. Jha.
Give him a chance to explain
he may completely end this whole thing. Give him a chance to speak. He's a decent human being. He's a Muslim. He's a world citizen. He's an intellectual. He knows what's happening. And give him a chance to speak, for God's sake.
I give a chance to speak to Mr. Jethmalani, please. Yes,
Why
Mr. Jethmalani as well.
Whatever
Mr. Jethmalani
in 1987.
Mr. Jethmalani.
He should apologize.
No, but why are we presupposing that he's going to be saying something inflammatory tomorrow? And in this techno age, you'll be able to access it no matter what. If you cut the video link, it's going to be right there.
I'm just completely both appalled, petrified and extremely worried and intrigued at the fact that here is a person, I'm sorry to say this, who was making news more for his personal life than the quality of his literature. I've said this many times, who suddenly become the last custodian, as if we were all Indians hanging to Salman Rushdie's coattails to save our secularism. Mahesh Jethmalani, please. Mr. Jethmalani.
Yeah. Arnab, look, you painted the BJP with the same Congress brush, and since you've called me here as a BJP leader, I must actually tell you that one of the great liberals in this country was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and his response when the book of Professor Lane, a book which I happen to defend in the Bombay High Court, when it was thought to be banned by the Maharashtra government, he came out with that famous quip, the response to a book is a book. And the BJP stands by it. I say that's our response. It is too late though. It is too late, as Shobha Dey says, unfortunately, to turn the clock back on the ban on Salman Rushdie. And to some extent,
I just hope
Salman Rushdii's book did border on the... Look, Sohil said you keep talking about L.K. Advani, but let me tell you, when L.K. Advani was the Home Minister, you were in and out of his house and hobnobbed with him. You were hobnobbed with him, and you were a great friend of the family, and you did not protest about the Babri Masjid. You did not protest about the Babri Masjid when the BJP was in power, when the NDA was in power. So much for your...
What is the relevance of that to the debate?
Yes, you have.
We are having a good debate.
Yes, you have.